Welcome to my show, Ethical Social Networking. That's what I call it in Manhattan. That's what I call it in Brooklyn. But in Queens, I'm calling it, which this show is going to be seen. I'm making the show for Queens to start my first thing in the new year. It's now January 3rd when I'm making this show on the 4th rather, Sunday. And the show in Queens is called Prosper Through Sane Economics. Now, I'm going to go over, I got 12 sheets, I just looked at it quickly, stuff I did a couple of years ago. I'm no longer going to be promoting energy ideas because Obama has chosen one of the most brilliant, brightest, integrative scientists in the world named Stephen Chu to be the Secretary of Energy. The only thing I'm going to have to inform him of is the idea behind this. I don't think he knows this, but I'm going to write him a letter. This has to do with wealth. And we also have income, high wealth and high income. Not to tax them, but to just require them. In this case, this is the top 1%, or 1 to 2% now, let's just say. A 1% requirement that they invest in their houses. Solar cells on their rooftops to make electricity. Solar collectors to make cold water into hot water. Fuel cells in the basement to convert the... See, that's my timer going down. You can see it. Got 3 more minutes for this first 5-minute segment, introduction. So, a 1 to 2%, a 1% requirement on the top 1 to 2% would bring in $200 billion a year. So the rich can be models by making their houses energy efficient to the highest standards, which is platinum of LEED, Leadership in Energy Environmental Design. Something to do with the U.S. Building Council making these standards. Matter of fact, it should be put into law. No longer building buildings that leak out heat. They can super insulate them like RMI has done. So I recommend students go to rmi.org. You can take a virtual tour of their building, which has all these energy efficient appliances and components and walls that are super insulating so that their body heat alone with the light heat is enough most of the time to heat the whole building, except when it gets supposedly down to minus 40 below. And then they may have put some wood on the fireplace, so I understand. I've never been there, but I trust Amory Lovins, who was the founder, co-founder with his wife Hunter Lovins, ex-wife I should say, he remarried. So this has to do with wealth. Then there's also income. Those who make over $250,000 a year, they got the money now. They can put it on their houses, 20% on average, maybe 0% at 250, and maybe 30% over $1 million, and the average would be 20%, and that would bring in another $200 billion. That's $400 billion a year for renewable energy and energy efficiency to make our country energy independent, and the rich could be models. I don't know if Stephen Key, who's the new Secretary of Energy to be soon, knows this idea, but I'm sure he is advising the advisors. I hope they listen to him. He's so brilliant, and he has a network of quantum physicists that helped him. They all tried to, he won the Nobel Prize in 1997 for doing work in the 1980s where he trapped an atom. He didn't know what significance it would have, but allows Okay, a 15-second meditation break. Close your eyes gently and look forward with your attention to the middle, and be appreciative of whatever you see or with darkness. Be alert and relaxed. Okay. So the first 5 minutes have gone by, and we were talking about that I'm going to be going over 12 sheets. This is the first sheet. In one pad is 30, there's another, after the 12 there's another 18 that I haven't used. I could write on it, or I could enlarge sheets like this. So I can enlarge this one too. 8.5 by 11. You put it in an engineering machine, 210%. This will fit on 2 foot by 1.5 feet. Okay. If you want to do the same thing I'm doing, you can get a show on MNN. You can live in Timbuktu, send in a mini DV. Here's a mini DV. I just grabbed one. This is my granddaughter tape I did for her. See? Simple little thing. Camcorder. I paid. Got a new one after 5 years. It still works half. No longer can see me, but I can send it the tape into the computer to duplicate tapes or whatever, to edit them. But I can no longer. So I had to 5 years ago, almost 6 years ago, when I started my shows in Manhattan on MNN, I try to stop the war in Iraq. I try to mobilize the people of this world through a 1-1000 network, which is, I'm still going to try to do that through my own network, now that I'm more conscious, more alive as to why I haven't been successful. 1-1000 network. What does that mean? It means you get 10 people in a week, for example. It could be a day if you're industrious, or if you're not too industrious, a month. But 10 people a week is doable. 2 family members, maybe. 2 relatives. 2 neighbors. 2 friends. 2 classmates. Then you get to 10 already. And there's 2 religious people who you go when you go to a religious group, or you work, or just beautiful strangers you can meet if you know how to go out, and people are turned on. Right? People are doing something for humanity. We'll talk about that a little later maybe. So meditation, that's the key to inner peace, according to Swami Rajinder Singh, at website sos.org. It's all free. If you offered them $1 million, they wouldn't take it, if you're not an initiate. Initiate means you get the charged words, but you don't need charged words. You could use words like appreciate, looking, listening. So you meditate, we're looking and we're listening. That's the way back to God. He doesn't say that. I'm standing on his shoulders, I hope. Awaken lovingly all.